Mad World, it's me, Coach Sass. It's a nice, lovely Sunday afternoon. I decided to drop some bars for you. Okay, maybe I'm not going to spit any rhymes, but want to talk about something that I picked up yesterday doing a workshop with my coach, Ken Armstrong, in Virginia. It was a team meetup. We had members from Virginia and from North Carolina, just, mixing it up, chopping it up, and, shaking the tree, as they say, and see what falls down. We had Will Worley, who has now been recognized as a full mixed martial arts instructor. We had Zach Mullins gave us an hour on the clinch. Really informative, good work there. Ace Hill is now an associate instructor under myself and Ken Armstrong. At any given point, he or I can say he's ready. Other coaches that were there, Isaiah Monroe, the featherweight king, always insightful. And then, of course, we had plenty of females this time. This is, I think, our fourth meetup. The first time that we've actually had women in on the sessions, and that was pretty good. And we actually had 5, so that's going to just look great for the future. The next one we do will be at Team Rock Fayetteville in North Carolina. So that'll just, we'll just try to organize that one somewhere during the summer. Ken Armstrong himself dropped some nuggets. And one of the nuggets he dropped was just a generality talking about the fight game. And he talked about, your body of work. Everybody wants to be somebody special, but what have you done and who have you trained? What is your body of work? You have to produce something. And that got me to thinking in terms of why certain athletes stay more popular than others. And it's the body of work. It's the journey they take you on due to that body of work. And I'll have to explain that. So I see a lot of fighters and they have 1 or 2 fights, and all of a sudden they're talking as if, they've been in the fight game for 25 years. They're talking as if they've fought some of the world's greatest contenders. And they fail to realize it's really not about that. It's all about what problems have you overcome. Because when you're a fighter or you're a coach and you put out a lot of fighters, your body of work speaks to the obstacles that you've had to overcome. When you look at who you work with and you say, well, that guy was difficult. Or you look at what show or event and you say, man, that was high level. That person had to overcome some obstacles. And there's a lot of lessons that come from being in that environment. So that's, to me, looking at the fighters that are popular and the fighters that people respect, the fighters that people get behind. I look at their body of work and I start to understand why people remain behind them even after they've had, a few setbacks. And you look at the situation with Cain Velasquez dealing with a personal issue, and there are so many people so supportive of that situation. They may not agree in terms of how he attempted to deal with it, but I'm pretty sure they're still supportive of Cain Velasquez because they look at some of the things he's tried to do in his career. They look at the setbacks, they look at the triumphs, and they look at the emotional journey that he takes you on. And I think that any great fighter, win, lose, or draw, we look at the effort they put out, and we look at, basically the things that had to go right and wrong as they, travel that route. That's what makes us admire them. I think about somebody who I didn't care for early on was Evander Holyfield. I just thought he was this puffed up light heavyweight. Everything was in place for him. He had the right trainer, the right team. He was an Olympian. He was a champion. And I just never thought that, he had the toughest competition or anything like that. So I just it's just too easy. And when he got to fight for the heavyweight title, I was, everything's just been put in his path to be successful, almost like a pro wrestling storyline being told. And it was when he defended his title against Riddick Bowe, and I saw him get knocked down and fight his way back and have that 11th round war. Or was it a 10th round war? I can't remember now, but When I saw that, I was like, oh man, this guy's heart is big. And in a losing effort, I became a fan. And so then I kind of realized that over the years that some of the fighters you like are the ones who will fight for you, the ones who will actually put it on the line regardless of the effort. And we know about Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti, the trilogy they had. If those two guys aren't, in your brain, and as Floyd Mayweather's uncle would say, you don't know shit about boxing. And I don't care what sport we're talking about, whether we're talking about football, because I know a lot of people love Brady, whether we're talking about basketball and everybody defaults to Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan. Of course, we always leave out the greats like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. When you get to know any athlete's background story, it adds that fuel, to your fire in terms of like why you like that person, why you support that person. And especially when that background story is similar to your own, the obstacles they have to overcome, so there's all kinds of obstacles. And 9 times out of 10, the storytellers out there will have us believe that, only the boys in the hood narrative is the only one that works for you, as far as like that shows that you are a true warrior. What shows you're a true warrior is your attempt to keep going, the ups and downs themselves. And in the fight game, the ups and downs make themselves evident through the wins and the losses, especially when the losses are reflective of some type of negative environment. Like you just didn't try. Like you just lose a decision because you just couldn't figure it out, or you get knocked out. And it's a horrible knockout, but yeah, you keep trying, and then boom, one day you're back on the scene and you're running off 6-7 wins and everybody loves you again. Look at Andrei Arlovsky in the UFC, man. He's not finishing the fights, but he's winning the fights. And anybody who follow him from the time that he was in the UFC champion, he was out of the UFC, and then he made his return. That's an emotional roller coaster, and that emotion is, like I said, it's not a negative thing, but that emotion is what draws you to him. And that's good. That's a good thing. It gives you a little bit of inspiration for your own life. And I think that's why we attach ourselves to these athletes, is because of the body of work. Because a lot of us have obstacles, but then all of a sudden you shut down. You stop doing, you stop moving, you stop growing. But then you're angry because nobody's supporting you. Nobody's behind you. You got to keep it going. You got to keep it flowing. And this is relevant to the local level. And I'm going to finish it out here. A lot of you fighters fight one time and you think that someone owes you something. You fight relative easy competition and you think everybody should just love you. You're going to have to put it on the line at some point in time. And I look at the show that I'm currently working for, Fight for It. They're matching up some of the best fighters in the region, in the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia area. This last show they did, I just watched so many of the top 10 gyms fight each other and beat each other and lose to one another. And that's the real fight game. I think if you're not doing that on the local level, I just don't know how you survive on the regional and the major level, the international levels. I just don't know how you're going to do it. You've got to fight the best guys you can to the level you're at, then step up like the video game, go to level 2, then go to level 3. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it going. You got to keep growing. So, I'm going to finish with that. And just that's the main point. You need a body of work. And you need, for your fans, if you want that fan support, you need to get them to go on that emotional ride with you. And guess what, y'all? That means you got to talk about it. That means you got to share it. And don't just share your wins, share your losses. Two of the guys that I've talked about in the past that I really, really, really care about and love in their athletic journey is Trey Pace, who's not only now an MMA fighter, but he is a hell of a jiu-jitsu competitor. And he just recently came off some huge wins. But prior to that, man, he won a belt in MMA. But prior to that, he had a tournament that he didn't really like. But yeah, he posted it. He told everybody about it. It didn't go his way. And another guy that's always been doing that for the longest time I can remember is CJ Murdoch. And those are the two type of people that I want you to talk about, or I'm going to mention for you to search out, because they're on the level where you are on the local level. Yeah, you can go learn all you want to learn about what Michael Jordan went through and what Tom Brady went through, but those people are so far removed from you, it doesn't really click. But when you can find someone locally who's able to overcome a situation and they have a lot of similarities with you, man, it's going to do wonders for you and your game and your business and your mindset, whatever it is that you're having problems with. Hey, look, I am Coach Sess, and you've had words with the Mad Coach.